Someday I'll have a cool kids studio and some smart kids typing on the computer. I'll always have my hair properly coiffed. Yes, it's very long. Praise the Lord. I just wanted to say hello. I've been away from the YouTube audience for a while. I've been working very hard on my new worldwide radio show. It's called Living by the Sword with Pastor Sam and the Gospel Gunslingers. And it's on 2 shortwave stations, WBCQ 7490. In pretty much the whole USA, you can catch that on your shortwave radio. Or on, hey Moni, it's been a long time since I've heard from you. Hello, hello. Latinos for Trump has been in the news. Man, oh man, there's been a lot. They're talking about it. I don't know, this wasn't really what I was planning, but since Moni's here, I don't know why some of the Latino conservative organizations or Latino MAGA organizations are not getting behind, who's our Mayra Flores, our new Mexican-born, she's actually a Tamaulipeca, our Mexican-born congresswoman in the Rio Grande Valley in McAllen, Texas. It's District 34 in Texas. So Mayra Flores swept this election, and now she's got to run for re-election. It was kind of a retirement in the middle of a term. And so many of these organizations are not getting behind her. All right. I really do know why. Come on, everybody knows that I know where all the bodies are buried. That's why some of you come out to see me. Here's why. Because some of these Latino organizations are really Latinos for Pence. They're really all about rhinoism and all about neoliberalism. All right, I hear you on that, and I think that's wonderful. I just want to draw that there's a differentiation and that there is a complot, there's a conspiracy to have Latino neoliberalist movements that are all for the rhino Republicans, which is Pence, Dan Crenshaw, the dude with the iPad, all of the sheep-dipped people that have been working in military intelligence that came in and ran on the Republican ticket. Now, on the other hand, there's a whole other side to this movement. I really love Michael Cloud, who's the congressman of District 27, and so now this is his second term he's finishing up and going into re-election for a third term. He's married to a Hispanic woman, so he's got a blended family. I'm sure they speak a lot of Spanish in the Cloud home. So not only is he really important on Second Amendment issues, that's interesting that you'd say that. Michael Cloud and I went to Oral Roberts University together, and he's worked very hard on Second Amendment issues. He's very serious about his Christianity, and so we're dealing with 2 sides of the Latino MAGA movement. There's one side that's more than happy to be neoliberalist, which means raping Latin American countries for their resources and putting in puppet governments and building banana republics, just like the Bush family built the Tamaulipas State Police. And now Greg Abbott, I'll just tell you right now, Greg Abbott is a rhino. He is a rhino's rhino and a very dangerous person. And he's going into a re-election campaign where it's either him or Beto, so he'll probably win. But this is a person who is willing to stab Texas in the back and torpedo it below the waterline and ruin Texas. And really has been under the radar doing that. So anyhow, I got up on a tangent because my friend Moni has come in, and we've worked some campaigns together and had a lot of fun, and she's a very serious Latina that is working to try to make America great. Hey, Moni, my radio show is heard in all the U.S. and most all of Latin America. Maybe the west half of Mexico will not get it, but it's Monday nights, 7 p.m. on WBCQ, that's Eastern Time, And then at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, so an hour earlier on Monday nights, it's on WRMI. So that's 9955. It's only a 30-minute show, but I put a lot into this. It's kind of the new home for Pastor Sam's Latin America War Report and Migrant Invasion News and a lot of other things. So I preach from the Bible. And it's almost all in English. We have some music because a lot of the shortwave shows that go out, across a lot of it's really dreary religious broadcasting, and some of it really strange doctrines that are coming out, flat earthers and everything else. So I do get my doctrines in there, but at the same time, I try to have a little fun and play some old-timer rock and roll. So I think you'll really find it's a blast, and I hope everyone tries to listen or turns friends onto it. And if you're not into shortwave, let me tell you, when the grid goes down, when the lights go out, when your cell phone doesn't work, when landlines don't work, when computers don't work, shortwave will work. So you really ought to have a shortwave radio, and then when you get one, you have to play with it. It's not just like any other thing. You have to fiddle with it, sometimes several times for a few hours. So you could set a goal. I'm going to catch Living by the Sword with Pastor Sam and the Gospel Gunslingers. If you're within the USA, you'll want to catch it at 7 Eastern Monday night on WBCQ 7490. If you're in Latin America or the Caribbean, because the WRMI signal will go across all the Caribbean, Central America, and South America, and parts of Africa, down to South Africa, maybe even Antarctica. The Penguins are listening to the Latin America War Report. So that frequency is 9955, and that's 6 p.m. Eastern on Monday nights. And you can catch that on WRMI.net. And I also have published the archive published, so you can listen to the old ones. And I hope you have as much fun with it as I do. It's part of the reason I haven't been up on YouTube as much. So please come around, check that out, and listen. Here we are at Halloween and Thanksgiving. I am teaching a little bit on Thanksgiving, and I've done that on the radio. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Halloween this year. Last year, I really came out and preached 2 lengthy teachings about Halloween, about the occult, about magic and sorcery, about demon possession, and they're right here on YouTube. In fact, I'm going to make a playlist with this video and those other 2 videos. It's called Spooky Stories with Pastor Sam, and the other one is More Puritanism and Spooky Stories with Pastor Sam. So there's a lot in there about the wolf man and blood drinking, and maybe some chainsaw and axe murders. There's a lot to it. So please take a look at that and share it with your friends, because there's definitely a famine of the hearing of the word today. And what that has done is caused a famine of the word. There's really not good teaching out there on sorcery and the occult in our modern age. So I've gone out of my way and laid the groundwork. It's just one of the more thing that I do, and then nobody cares. So support your local gunfighter. And this message I'm really putting out there partly to say hello to a segment of my audience that I never hear from and never talk to. It's pretty cool that Moni came up. It's probably been 2.5 years since we talked on the phone or crossed paths or anything. So the fact that she came on for a minute was really neat. That's a friend of mine. So yes, please help me to move forward in the things that we're doing, trying to get to the next level. I have to pay for that radio time. They're huge transmitters. The WRMI transmitters were damaged in Hurricane Ian. They played my first show as the hurricane was steaming across Cuba, and then it turned into Florida a little deeper, and where their studios are in Okeechobee, I think they have 23 huge antennas, and they were all offline. It blew out the power and the cables and tangled some of their antennas. And this is not just a spire. They're big nets and webs. It's more like a ship's sail. It's made out of metal that goes a certain direction. WRMI is 160-degree azimuth, so it's south-southeast from Central Florida, and that's how they get all of South America and the Caribbean. Anyway, they were all damaged. You can also donate to them, WRMI.net. The famous Radio Miami International is badly hurt from Hurricane Ian. I just got another email from Jeff White, the director, that said, we got this frequency up, and then we have one more frequency, and we hope to have it up next week. But that's the how long it's taken for them to rebuild these antennas, rerun transmission lines, get power, wait for the fields to clear because it was all turned into mud and slush out there, and they got their trucks stuck. They have a whole square mile of antenna fields, and many of the transmitters are 100,000 watt transmitters, including 9955, the one that I'm on, is a 100,000 watt transmitter. WBCQ is also 100,000 watts. So they're just enormous pieces of equipment that's very delicate and esoteric. They have to have engineers on staff to make all that stuff work. And I really appreciate these are the last gasps of free speech in America, the fact that we have uncensored shortwave radio. And by the way, you can comment. If you go to gospelgunslingers.com and type me a message, or you can message me directly on Telegram. Just go to my website, hit the Telegram button, come for daily Bible study, please. This should really be your wake up in the morning, and I invite everybody to come along. It's a 3-minute daily Bible study, and then the Bible passage is right there. So you just turn on your alerts, and then at 7 Central Time every morning, your phone will go ding, 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 and here's your verse of the day, and there it is in the Bible, and we talk about it just for a minute. There's a comment section if you want to join that, and very few people do. Very few people do. So this is where I'm out blazing a trail, and sometimes I wonder if I'm just taking a walk. Sometimes I wonder. Anyhow, something else that you can do to come along, and if we're going to take our nations back, we need to be looking into the Word of God and get some clear teaching on why we can and why we should, when most Bible teaching has been all about how to bite the pillow harder and take your punishment and lick the hands of your evil, wicked master. The Gospel Gunslingers are not down with that. We're not down. Anyway, God bless everyone. Moni, there is I think you have my direct phone number. You can just hit me on that. Or on gospelgunslingers.com, you hit the button for the Bible study, and it'll tell you right there. I believe on Telegram, I'm at Gospel Gunslinger without the S. And I think that Gospel Gunslingers with the S is the Bible study. So you're welcome to use my phone number that you have. You probably have to use the Telegram or the Signal app. So, just having that door open for all of you. Listen, the Russian honey traps and the hookers and the porn links that I have to deal with coming in there is a lot, because I keep the door open for you. Something that very few people take advantage of. It's just too threatening to be friends and to be close and to know people personally. And that's why these internet platforms are out there, because the programmers, the men behind the curtain, knew that if people had the opportunity to interact with others just with the joystick and the buttons, their avatar instead of their real face, their social credit score instead of their real reputation on the street, they knew that people would choose the one. Jesus said, people say the old wine is better. No man having tasted the old wine wants the new. They say the old is better. So he also said men love darkness rather than light, and that the wicked hate the light because the light makes manifest their deeds, and their deeds are evil. And so, listen, you have to choose to be on the other side, to really reach out and to make friends and have relationships. And by the way, I'm also doing another series with Holly Baglio, a survivor of SRA and Monarch programming. And so we're really writing the book on that right now. It's a Bible teaching series that's unlike any that's ever been out there about these issues in our culture, in the news as the years have passed, and above all, in the Bible. So it's really a shocker, and I'm putting a lot of effort into that. And when there's really very few that want me to be their pastor and to be their missionary and want to support their local gunfighter. So please come along, visit me on my site, click the button, send me $1. Then I change that into pesos and feed some hungry kids. And we go one more day towards rebuilding conservative journalism and real Bible instruction. You probably know my friend Torben Sondergaard is more than 100 days behind bars right now. The Homeland Security just picked him up and threw him in the gulag. Even though he requested asylum in the United States, he's not a citizen. So they're like, oh, you're a foreigner. You're an enemy combatant. We don't have to tell you anything. You don't have rights. Well, that's why I'm not there. You understand that? So think about how far advanced this battle is, that we are badly behind schedule on rebuilding free journalism and rebuilding free Bible teaching, real Bible teaching about defeating the demonic. I'm looking at my new lights, and they kind of give me raccoon eyes. I've just built this. You want to see what I built in the Casa Peli Roja? I'll show you. So I have this loft, and all my storage is up there. Got some books up there. So it blocked my lights. So I built these lights. I just got an opportunity to put them in. So I got 3 new lights, and I put them out as far as I could so I'd have a little studio area. I got my new clock, and it has one of my favorite Bible verses from Isaiah 40:31. Of course, you see it's broken. You know, I had to believe God. It took like 8 trips to town before I actually had the 350 pesos and an opportunity to go get it. And then when I bought it, the guy goes, "This is the last one." So I get the last clock home with my favorite Bible verse on it, one of my top verses, and it's broken out of the box. I even had the electrician fix it, and now I have to fix it again. I'll probably have to buy another cheap clock and swap out the mechanism. But anyhow, I've been building a little bit on my little tiny command center, the Casita Peli Roja. So that's the news. That's the news. Sometimes I go in my red kitchen and have little, you want to see my red kitchen? And I have little cooking shows. So here's my little red kitchen that I built. It's all electric. Here's my tortillas that I handmade. And I gotta say, hanging out with ladies and grandmas that make their own fresh tortillas every day. My tortillas are both ugly and they're hard. I could probably knock myself out with this. Maybe I'll give it to Logan. Yeah, there's Logan right there. He likes being in on the broadcast. Logan, are you hungry? You want to go outside and play? Yeah, all right, just a minute when we finish the broadcast. And sadly, I think the owl got Space Ghost the cat. So we have a new Space Ghost. This is Space Ghost, and this is Gray Ghost. That's Space Ghost. This is Gray Ghost. So maybe they'll do better and make their decision to be a positive part of the rancho. Logan, your dog bone. This is your dog bone. You had to eat your bone. Here, take that. That's for you. Yeah. Eat your bone. Eat your bone. Moni, I'm sure your tortillas are a lot better than mine. I'm sure they're a lot better than mine. Okie dokie. God bless you, friends. Moni, If you don't call me, I'm going to call you. All right. Bye-bye.